Hi, I'm Simon Hope and welcome to this KS YouTube channel. I'm going to show you my new left-handed thread spindle, available for the Hope threading jig. There's videos on how it all operates separately to this video. This one is just to show you the left-handed threads that I've introduced so you can make trick boxes and just different options for your thread chasing. So there's two versions available, both M33 3.5 nose threads. I do a 12 TPI and a 16 TPI, and this is identifiable by the left hand milled on the end of the spindle. So in terms of sort of operation, everything works exactly the same as the normal threading jig. The only difference is instead of winding this to go forward, you have to wind opposite to go forward. That's the only difference needed to make a left-handed thread. So I'm going to make a little sort of trick box where the lid just sort of rotates and you have to actually use it left-handed to actually take it apart. I've already prepared the pieces of wood, so this is going to be the top, that's going to be the base. Let's get that mounted and start turning. Then we're just going to true the front. This will actually be the lid, and we'll start by hollowing the inside of the lid. Trim the face. Start hollowing. Then I'm going to use my detail tool to get the edge correct. This is the 8mm round bar, which allows the sides to be completely parallel to the thread. Just tidying up the bottom as well. And I'm just going to tidy up the front face. Now, because we're making this style of sort of trick box, we do need a little hook tool. This is for hand thread chasing, and we can use this just to put a groove on the back. Make it a little bit wider. That's good. And we'll use a thin cyanacrylate glue to actually soak in the wood and harden it, ready for preparation for the thread. So let's just run some of that in, let it soak in a little bit, and just use a bit of cloth just to wipe off the surface, like so. And then we're just going to activate that. Cutter and cutter holder on the lathe. Threading jig into position. And then we'll move this just on the inside edge. Same as a normal threading jig procedure, available on all the other videos. Make sure it's parallel. Do our kiss test. As this is 12 TPI, we're going to do 7 to 8 clicks. So we're going to do 6 to begin with. 3, 4, 5, 6. Speed up high. And we can start making our cut. And then reverse. Operate the hinge. Clear the debris. And I'm just going to drop some more glue into the threads just to harden the timber, ready for the final finishing cut. Just going to wipe with some cloth, just quickly, and then activate. So hinge back down, and we're going to do our final 2 clicks, and now we can start cutting. And reverse. Yeah, perfect. A little bit of shaping on the outside edge before we reverse it now. Now we're going to just swap pieces over. This is the bottom of the box. We're going to trim the front and then just work out our markings out for the next step. So the offset for 12 TPI is 1.8 millimeter. So what we need to do is we're going to use the verniers and just wobble that across the tips of the threads. Look at your measurement and add 1.8 millimeter. Digital verniers are slightly easier, but you can still use these. That's the measurement we need on here. And then we're just going to measure that part. Just going to take away 0.5 millimeter, and I'm going to transfer that onto there. Turn our spigot. Slight chamfer on the front, and then we need our thin groove at the back. And just our taper on the edge. Again, we're just going to harden the timber with some thin cyanacrylate glue. Just use a bit of tissue to wipe that in, and then just activate. Normal operation and setup before cutting. Make sure that it's parallel. Let's do the kiss test. Which is there. Add our 6 clicks. And then we're going to hinge and test. So we've only done 6 clicks, it's still a little bit tight, so we'll do our final click and that'll be working perfectly. It was quite a heavy kiss test, so sometimes if you have like a heavy kiss test, then you only need like one final finishing. So hinge back down, we'll do our final finishing cut. So we've done our 2 clicks and we'll start cutting. hinge and then test. Yeah, perfect. So of course, normally with a normal push fit or right hand thread, you would just turn your lathe and turn your shape, right? But because it's left-handed, as soon as you start putting any pressure on there, what's going to happen? It's just going to untwist. So how can we turn this? So there's several options. One being is that you can use the ASR safety collar, which we're going to mount and just show you that, and then turn in reverse. We'll show you how that operation works. Okay, we're set up, ready to go. Let's put it in reverse. Let's get that sanded. So the plan is to make this a sort of magic box, if you like, is we need to turn the back of this thread down, so when it's threaded it falls into that groove at the back. Then what will happen is it will just spin. You can't pull it off, and you have to use it left-handed thread to actually take it off. So now we're just going to adjust the back of this a little bit at a time, keep testing it until it falls back into the groove. So just using our thread-hardening tool, we'll make our first attempt and test. Yeah, that's it. It now falls into the groove and just spins. So I'm just going to use the skew, this is the round one, just to trim the surface and maybe just put a slight chamfer on that edge. And now we're just going to do some hollowing. I normally start with the spindle gouge just to sort of drill a hole down the centre. You want to go down about that deep. Check. And then I'm going to use the 8mm carbide to hollow. Just a little bit more here. And then at a low speed I'd normally just do a little bit of hand sanding on the inside just to get that finished. But I'm just going to show you a little trick to turn the base and bring this little project to a close. So all the little offcuts that you get left with from turning I keep in a box, and they're really useful for little tricks like this. So This one I found, you have to make sure that that size is bigger than the diameter of the threads. And then we're going to fit that into the chuck. Don't grip too tightly. True the face and then mark out the size for this piece. This is the right size for the threads. Put that size onto here. And then very carefully we're going to punch through and take out the centre of this wood. Now you have to be very, very careful when you actually break through the back, that you don't hit the inside of the drawers. So be very, very careful with that. And I'm just going to use my detail tool just to get that parallel. So we're going to get that sized up so this just fits on the inside. And then we're going to tighten down and the wood will compress and hold on top of the threads. So you want to sort of do it reasonably tight, but obviously not loads of pressure which might break something. So yeah, I'm just going from one to the other just to get it an even strength. So always pull that and make sure that it is in there good and strong. If it comes out easily, then it's not holding strong enough. But I'm quite happy with that, so we're just going to finish trimming the bottom of the box off. So nice and gently. Just taking small cuts each time, 1 or 2 millimetre. We'll get a nice clean cut on the back and just do a slight undercut. So you can hand sand or for quickness use the rotary sander. So let's take that out. This is waste on here. And there we have our left-handed spinning magic box. So normally you would turn a thread this way to undo, but if you give it to somebody and they just keep playing around like that, it doesn't come off, it doesn't pull off, so you have to use it left-handed to actually take it off. It's a bit of fun. There's lots of different magic boxes you can make with left-handed threads. So I hope you enjoyed the project, and if you want some more information about the threading jig, there's lots of information and videos about how it works and how it generally works in use. So once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on another video.